not being driven, motivated, dedicated to something in your life, especially if you don't have kids, something that either you're passionate about or just something that is paying the fucking bills just in case something happens. Like, that shit, you should have it too. Like, I would hope that a man would stick with me for 5 years if I was like, okay, I need to go to school. I need to go back to school. I need to figure out a trade. I need to pass this. I need to get rid of debt. Whatever my reasoning is behind why I'm trying to build myself to be better. I think it's something small to a giant. I would hope that I would never pick someone that it would take 5 years with, but with the economy and everything that's going on, who knows what that looks like? But I would say in my mind personally, I would never even be with somebody who didn't have the time and availability to make something themselves with a year or two turnaround, if even needing that.
So I was asking that because most women want a provider to provide. So you would say that most women are okay with paying, let's say, the 70% of the bills, and they're okay with that? That's kind of what I was asking.
No, I don't think most women are okay with it at all. I don't think the majority would be okay with it because they're used to a certain set standard. Um, I think it's just about what you believe in and what you've built with that person, knowing who you're with and what you're going through, and if you're willing to get through it together. And some people can't handle it. Sometimes it's too much pressure. Sometimes it's too much stress, or you feel like you're not getting everything that you desire to receive in a relationship because somebody isn't doing one thing. It's just, I don't know. For me, it's just easy to be like, shit happens, and so I'm here.
Now, I think our internet went down. Lady Dot, let me ask you this: do you think most relationships? Are you back? All right, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't know. I think if I choose the right man, he is still overall still going to be a protector, provider, and everything that I need in my life, regardless of what I mean, happenstance and situation. Like I said, I would hope it would never be a 5 year situation. That is a very difficult and tough one. It's almost like going to jail. But if you're making yourself better, you're doing something that's going to benefit us over a long term, then I'm willing to understand.
All right, let me go try to get Roof in there. Roof, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Sorry about that. Um, I think that I'm with Sweeney. The numbers prove that couples that work together are happier. I would have liked it to be where the man is 100% providing and it works out and you can trust him and everything, moves forward and you flourish. But I personally had that situation, and sometimes it puts somebody that never had power before in too much of a powerful position, and they kind of wield it over you. So yes, you need like I agree with Andrea um, with one little part where it's like you have to know who you are, you have to know what you're able, what you can do, and sometimes the men got to be careful when you're saying, I got to pay all the bills so I can control everything. Like, she's a human being. It's best that the best way for a woman to submit is she has her own will. God gave everybody their own will. So if she submits her will to yours, right? If she decides, I have power and I want to let you, help me decide what we should do together, that's the best way. You get buy-in. Even if you learn about leadership, you know that you need to have buy-in from your staff. So if you don't have the buy-in and you feel like I'm gonna tell the woman to sit down and she's gonna do whatever I say, that's a good portion of it is why we're getting divorced. But when we work together, we can get farther. And I don't believe that women should just spend their own money, let the man pay for everything, and then they can do whatever they want. You're kind of taking advantage of him, and you should just try to, like, okay, I'm going to be responsible. We both get to decide on all the money because two people do become one. That's how it's supposed to be. So then it goes to the concept of 100. It should be all together and you all decide what we should do. If you have the right woman, it doesn't matter if it's 50-50 or if she's paying the bills or whoever's paying the bills. You guys, she has to understand, like, don't get an ego because you're helping, you're 50-50. And the man, the same thing. Don't think you're God over her just because you're paying some bills. Like, at the end of the day, some women are making money these days, so they could potentially pay all the bills. But it's you got to work together. That's all.
Andrea
Yeah,
just Andrea, when she watched that video, she immediately said, "That motherfucker ain't gonna tell me what to do with my money." Money ain't gonna move a woman. Especially if she has her own bread. I had to tell one of my clients that. He came in the shop talking about some, man, I'm trying to tell. I'm like, bro, she go out there and work for her money every day of the week just like you do. You think you're gonna just go over there and just move her like that? Money don't move women. Andrea just proved it. She said, you ain't gonna tell me what to do with my money. And he clearly said he pays all the bills. If you think money gonna give you the power in that relationship, that means if you're searching for power in a relationship, you're dealing with the wrong person to begin with. And if you're dealing with a combative person, you're dealing with the wrong person to begin with. You suppose relationships and marriages are cooperative.
That's part of the whole point, right? He's thinking that he's going to get leverage because he has money. That ain't it. You can't force a woman into submission. You can't coax a woman into submission. Like, none of that stuff works. You can't trick your
can't even buy them
submission. And that's the problem that we're having. And I think that's the part of the conversation that's kind of irritating me, is the notion that a woman will leave you because she makes more money than you. I think that's ludicrous. And if she views you in that way, then you were just a trick to begin with, right? You should have never married her in the first place, to be honest. Like, because to me, that means you don't really offer much value in any other category, right? That means your character probably sucks. You're probably weak in the bed. You probably have no swag, no pizzazz, no nothing. Like, it's got to be something wrong with you if she's going to leave you just because of the bread. You missing out on some things. And if you believe that, I think you're missing out on some things. Like I said, I encourage men to take care of their household, take care of their family, and make their woman be able to rest easy. But if you down and then she go, then you never should have got with her in the first place. You weak, dude. That's just what it is. And you got to understand that part. It ain't about the money. If a woman's going to leave you just because of the bread, she wasn't never yours anyway. And that's the part we're missing.
I actually disagree.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I actually disagree. Statistically, the leading cause for divorces is finances. So to try to make this like narrative, like finances is not a huge reason why people separate or like end up like splitting up in the beginning, I feel like that's not being honest and you're not being realistic. I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman helping with family and stuff like that. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think the problem that I have is that in the video, he's talking about how she should be putting her money towards Black economy and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what if my idea of putting money into the Black economy doesn't necessarily go along with what you think the Black economy and putting money into it means? Like, I feel like a lot of what he said was subjective. And to me, it seems very controlling because it's like, why do I have to live up to your standard when it comes to my spending and what I decide to spend on? It's like him saying, it's like someone being like, I don't know what kind of example to use, but it's kind of like, it's just a very nuanced statement to make, like putting money into the Black account. It'd be different if he was like, you should put some of the money into like a kid's saving account so that as the years grow, it grows and get interest, or put it into a CD account so that, you know, when the kids get to a certain age, they can have that money to their own. Something very concrete and something that he can be like, yeah, you know, that's a great idea. I think I'll do that. That's a concrete idea, but to just be like putting money into the Black economy, that can be something. That can be something completely different to me than it does to him. So why am I gonna like have this argument about what I'm doing with my money? I'm not doing that.
So two quick things. One, he said investments for the family. I don't think he specified which investment, just that it was for their financial future. And the other thing is, when you mentioned the number one course reason for divorce would be finances, I think that's proof to what we're saying. If she will leave you,
that's not actually it, though, Marcus. It's not even it.
Okay, so I'm just using it as an example. If it is, so I don't know, maybe it's 3 or 4. But if somebody will leave you based off of finance, then you shouldn't have married them. And the proof of it is that they left you because of finances.